Alright, so I'm going to be honest here and start this video off just by going over the U18s in general, because as you may know, the International Ice Hockey Federation U18 World Championships is indeed going on. This is like the World Juniors, but instead, for guys that are under 20, the U18s, as you can hear from the name, it's for guys under 18 years old. And as a result, the big chunk of the guys that I have been focusing on in this U18 tournament have been mostly the guys with the most to gain. Because this is a U18 tournament, it means that the guys who are the oldest at the tournament are going to be drafted prospects in the 2021 NHL Entry Draft. And as a result, because a lot of these guys play in the OHL that didn't actually start this season, a lot of these guys had to go international for some extra ice time, this U18 tournament is really going to serve as the biggest catalyst as to who rises and who falls among a lot of these guys that hadn't gotten their chops yet at playing full-time hockey in 2021. Which is why, for me, looking at the U18 roster and seeing the highlights and seeing who's doing well and who's doing poorly, I was mostly focusing on the Brandt Clarks, the Logan Stankovens, the 2021 guys that have the most to gain. And for the most part, guys like Brandt Clark are doing extraordinarily well. He's pretty much single-handedly boosting his draft stock with this tournament. But because I'd been focusing so much on the U18s and not necessarily anybody else in the tournament, oh boy, this guy, man, he kind of slipped under the radar right here, and I feel like a fool for it. Let's go over the hottest player at the U18s right now, arguably the best player in the tournament, and a guy who, if he continues his current pace, might actually be on track to matching or maybe even breaking the U18 goal-scoring record held by Cole Caufield and Alexander Ovechkin. No, this is not a Caufield video, guys. Please stop it. I know we've made so many videos about the guy, but this one is not really one of those. It's just a video about somebody else. And so when it comes to the guy we're talking about, let's go over Matvei Michkov once again, because as you know, he is probably one of the top prospects in the NHL world at the moment, and he's not even going to be drafted until 2023, so really good for him right there. He's a Russian right wing. He's 5'10", 159 pounds, and he was born in December of 2004. That makes him 16 years old at this tournament that is filled with 17, some 18-year-olds, and despite that fact, despite being one of the younger guys in this tournament, he is leading the entire U18s in points with 7 points in 3 games played. Now, the big thing about the points that he has scored thus far is that 6 of these points have been goals. He's at 6 goals in 3 games, and a lot of this was highlighted in yesterday's performance where Team Russia played off against Team Germany. Now, the final score of the game was 6-1 Russia, and things got really hot in the second period for Matvei Michkov because, just out of nowhere, 30 seconds into the period, you know what this guy does? This guy does the freaking Michigan lacrosse goal, and he makes it look so easy. He's given all the space behind the net, and he's like, okay, cool, let's go ahead and just do the Michigan right here. Pick it up, swoop the stick over the side of the net, and boom. That was his 3rd goal of the tournament, and he scores one of the most impressive and revolutionary hockey moves in the last few years. I mean, I say revolutionary, it's only been done 3 times at the NHL level, but the fact that you can see players at the NHL level like Sidney Crosby, like Niels Höglander, like a few other guys, I'm definitely missing some names, actually try to do it, yeah, this is a move that's making its name made in the history books, and Michkov's like, yeah, I'll just do it right here at the U18s in a very important international tournament where I'm one of the younger guys here. Yeah, let's do it. Give it a few minutes, though. Matvei Michkov then scores his next goal of the game. All right, that's cool. He's got 2 in the night. Really good for Matvei Michkov. He is over a goal a game in the tournament now because, of course, he is. If there's anybody that's going to go out there, it's the guy that the Olympics labeled as the next Alexander Ovechkin. And then you see what he does 7 minutes later, because 7 minutes later the puck gets sent out in front. There's a big scrum for Team Russia, and the Germans are all kind of clamped in there. Everybody's kind of looking for the puck. It squeaks out to the side, and guess who is right there to see it? It's Matvei Michkov. He comes in, and you know what he does? He approaches the puck, he puts his stick in between his legs, and he shoots. He scores his 3rd goal, the hat-trick goal of this game against Germany, and it's a through-the-legs goal. I saw this comment on Reddit, but somebody said he's playing hot rush out there. That's like NHL 21 Hut Rush. You see the Michigan goal, the through-the-legs goal. He's just going out there having fun. And then he gets another goal in the third period off of a really nice odd-man rush. 4 goals on the night against Team Germany for Matvei Michkov, and he is out here with 6 in 3 games played. As one of the younger guys in this tournament, he would still be eligible for this next year. And he's already the top guy in the entire tournament when it comes to points and goals. Now, what I wanted to talk about as well, because when it comes to the entire thing, it's a short tournament, the U18s. So far, Russia has only played 3 games, but if they go all the way, assuming they win everything else and they go to the gold medal or whatever it's called over here, they will have themselves a max of 4 extra games played. They have another Group B game against the Czech Republic on May 1st, and then we have the quarterfinals that start on May 3rd. Then the semis start on May 5th, and then we have the finals on May 6th. We have 2 games on the final, one between the 2 winners of the semifinals, and then one between the 2 losers of the semifinals, so you can get a first, second, and third place ranking out of this. If Team Russia wins everything, if they make it to the very end, they stop playing on May 6th, Matvei Michkov will have an opportunity to play 7 full games at this tournament, which is significant because the record for the most goals all time at the U18s is indeed 14 goals accomplished by 2 guys. Cole Caufield scored 14 in 7 games in 2019. Alex Ovechkin scored 14 in 8 games in 2002. So Ovi had the same production, it's just he did it in 1 more game played. You can see some of the other names over here in the U18's history. Caufield, Ovi, Kucherov, Kovalchuk, so some very good goal scorers right there at the top. Of course, though, Kucherov and Kovalchuk at 11 goals only, so if Matvei Michkov comes out here and he gets himself, I don't know, just a few more, he gets himself another hat-trick and a little bit in the next game, like he's gonna go out there as already one of the top guys. Interesting thing to note, though, is that Cole Caufield, when he played at the U18s, he was a true U18 player. Alex Ovechkin was actually a U17 player back when he played in this tournament, so his feat is a little bit more akin to what Matvei Michkov is doing over here. When it comes to total points, though, Matvei Michkov is currently at 7 points in 3 games played. If you do the math on that, 7 divided by 3, I shouldn't need to do the math on that. That's basic elementary work. It's 2.33 points per game, and if you go over to the entire point per game catalog for players who have played in the U18s, well, the top guys over here, some of them have played very small amounts of games, like Shane Wright in this year's tournament. He has a hat-trick in 1 game played, 3 goals, 1 game. Okay, he's got 3 per game. But some of the other guys in this realm of 2.33 plus, you have yourselves Mason McTavish over here. You have a lot of other really good names, of course. Cole Caufield, Ilya Kovalchuk, Phil Kessel, Jack Hughes, Nikita Kucherov is the big one. But Michkov right now is 14th, and he is just underneath William Nylander. You gotta remember, when William Nylander did this, 16 points in 7 games played back in 2014, he was drafted that year. Matvei Michkov is going to be drafted in 2 years. So things are getting really, really crazy for Matvei Michkov, and if he continues at the pace he is at 2 goals a game, and he assumably goes until at least the semifinals, he will have himself a chance to match Cole Caufield and or Alexander Ovechkin's goal record right here. If he does it in 7 games played, then he ties Caufield officially, which is kind of crazy because I didn't realize back when Caufield set the record in 2019 that it would be matched so quickly into the future. Nonetheless, by a guy who's out here pulling Michigans and through-the-leg goals like it's nothing. We had ourselves actually 2 Michigan goals in the U18 so far. Matvei Michkov's not the first guy to do it. Dmitry Kuzmin also did it earlier in the tournament as well, so the fact that Michkov is second to the party here, I mean, Connor Bedard's got to score a few, right? If you want the updates on Connor Bedard, he's at, right now, 3 points in 2 games played, so the entire Bedard versus Michkov angle has really been dominated by Michkov so far, but of course, just like Quinton Byfield at the World Juniors, all it takes is 1 good game for any of these guys to come out here and just resurge themselves back into the race. So for Matvei Michkov, the guy who has been signed into his KHL club until 2025, okay, cool, I get it. You're not going to play in the NHL for a while, despite being labeled by many people as the best Russian prospect since Alexander Ovechkin. And the fact that you're out here producing similarly to the grade 8 kind of cements that fact so. Even though he's not going to come over to the NHL for a while, that's not going to stop any of us from going over here, talking about this guy, and seeing what he is doing, and just being in awe of what we are witnessing here. Seriously. Cole Caufield and Ovechkin are two of the most highly touted goal-scoring prospects we have ever seen, and Michkov is out here doing what they did at a younger age. How crazy is that, man? How crazy is that? Talk to me in the comments what you think about Matvei Michkov and this entire crazy thing that we're talking about here. Hope you enjoyed this video, Ash 99, and bye.